You know what I'm here for, Colby?
Oh, what's that, Barry?
Monkeys. I'm here for monkeys. 12 of them if you got them. What's going on, guys? My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the third movie of...
Terry Gilliam month.
Yeah, is he a sir yet? I feel like he's a sir.
He probably is, Sir Terry Gilliam. I don't know.
Unless we've been, like, just so Mandela effect that we think, like, oh, they're Monty Python. They're British. No, they're American. Just kidding. Doing British accents. That was...
Just it's like a ruse this whole time. They were just an American troupe that was making fun of the British.
I mean, that's pretty on brand for America, right? We make fun of the British all the time. Losers.
That's true.
No, but yeah, this one is probably, as far as the movies that we've been doing this month, it's probably the most toned down one.
Right.
Not exactly, was it like Monty Python? What is it? Oh my God, why is the movie escaping me more? You know, 'Tis But a Scratch.
Yeah, Holy Grail.
Holy Grail, jeez. Yeah. I was like, there's that. There's Life of Brian.
Yeah.
Friggin' Baron Munchausen. Or not Munchausen. What
yeah.
is it? Oh, Baron.
The Adventures of Baron Munchausen.
Oh. Because in my head, I was like thinking about the disease or the mental illness. I was like, no, wait, that might not be right. But before we get to tell you what the movie is, I gotta give you a little doctor. Oh, what did I call it last time? Little bibbity bobbity.
Bibbity bobbity who?
All right, just a little trailer for you guys.
Right.
Nobody told James it was a cold world. Flashbacks haunt him of old girl. But he got a mission to save the whole world. Back and forth like Marty McFly. He's got enemies, more than one guy. 12 chimps and they not in a barrel. All delusional, no shots, all feral. So will he be able to save the world safely? Let's find out in 95's 12 Monkeys. It's bars for you.
Bust a rhyme there.
Got bars for you guys today. Yes. Today we're going to be talking about the 1995 psychedelic, time travel-esque sci-fi movie, 12 Monkeys, starring Bruce Willis.
Yep.
A very young Brad Pitt. Was this before or after 7? That's what I was like wondering.
Oh, it is. It is a very young Brad Pitt.
Oh yeah, but this is definitely after Thelma and Louise. Right? That's when he was playing, not young idiot, but he was eye candy in that movie, right?
Right. Yeah.
At Thelma and Louise,
yeah,
it was never about him.
Right. It was the young pretty boy that.
And he was so pretty.
Right. He still is.
And he also had that one movie where he was like in a, what is it called? Like a cartoon world, right?
A Cool World.
Cool World.
Yep. That would have been about the same time period as well.
Yeah, I always he was in Freddy's Nightmares and Growing Pains. Like when you got into like looking into Growing Pains as like history, it's like, oh, that's really sad.
Right, was Growing Pains was also DiCaprio.
Yeah, DiCaprio, and but it's just Kirk Cameron was like a cult leader.
Not till after, I don't think, but yes.
No, it was even during, because remember his partner, the blonde girl, before like the brunette, she was in Playboy.
Okay.
And he was like, no, disgusting, no, get out of my set, and all that stuff.
Oh. See, I didn't hear really any of that, while it was on set. It was just, the show ended. He kind of disappeared for a little while, and then he kind of re-popped up as a
megalomaniac.
Well, I thought he was like a Jesus-powered superhero.
Oh, I think like for the longest time.
Christ Man or something. I'm not trying to make fun of it, but
I will.
And I can't remember what it was, but I remember that.
Yeah, no, I will, because it's like it's just, you know, like if you guys listened before, my takes on religion, it's just very blasphemous. Oh yeah, no, so yeah, 12 Monkeys did come after 7,
but
which was another
the same
all-star.
year.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously the 7 is much more of the popular one. What's in the box? And it's also starring Madeleine Stowe, who I believe was much more busier in the 90s.
Right, yes.
Than more in recent things. Yeah, I think the last thing she was in the 12 Monkeys episode. And she was on the TV series Revenge. Just very smaller stuff, not as like big as she was in the 90s. So definitely, yeah. This movie is also based on, I believe, a book.
And it's a remake of a movie.
Oh, okay.
But the original movie is all still shot. It's a black and white movie. It's all still shots.
Oh, okay.
So no video.
Oh, so it's like a old timey picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Charlie Chaplin type of picture. Oh yeah.
And I remember I saw this in the theater when it came out, and I absolutely loved this movie. And I wasn't as knowledgeable as Terry Gilliam and his stuff at that point, and certainly didn't, recognize the name from like Monty Python and stuff like that. Mm. And then till we were doing research, I think I've seen it maybe once since then, but till doing research, on our subject this month, Terry Gilliam, the greatest director, writer, producer of all time. Until I started doing research, I didn't realize that he was the director of this movie.
Mm. Yeah,
And then when I rewatched it, I'm like, every camera angle, all the sets are so his style. I was like, oh. Yeah, if I would have known back then, I would have been, yeah.
All right, so looking into it, it is just based off the 1962 French movie screenplay. So it's not based off a book, but I mean, I would read that book.
Right. Yeah.
This movie is going to be a bit of a sort of hard recap, just because of the amount of, like, everything that's happening is kind of.
It's.
You also don't
it
know.
Is like you're following Bruce Willis, so it is pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But there's like, he's a time traveler, so there's jumps in time, and so it gets
messy.
Messy.
Yeah. So I mean, like, the movie starts off with like a short recap of what's happened to the world. It's the year 2033 or something.
No, it's 1997.
Is it?
Well, okay, yeah, so it's 20... You're right. It's 2030, and in 1997, the world was hit by a plague that killed only left
5 billion people.
Yeah, only left like 2% of the planet's population. And everybody basically kind of moved underground.
Yeah, they're all mole people at this point.
Yeah.
They should be much lighter in
skin.
skin.
The world was retaken over by the animals.
Yeah. Yeah, because we get a little short overview of, like, the world as it is right now. And it's, like, it's covered in snow.
Yeah.
And, like, there's a lion there, which, first of all, a lion shouldn't be in that climate. It's not used to that snow.
It's confusing at the beginning, but it makes more sense at the end.
Yeah, but there's a whole bunch of animals like roaming the earth, and then we get shortcutted into a underground bunker.
Yep.
And there's like people in cages.
Right. It's basically so there's a group of scientists who have discovered the ability to time travel for short periods of time.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of sends somebody back in time for a few days. And they're like, hey, we're going to use prisoners, and we'll cut off portions of your sentence if you volunteer, wink, wink, forcefully get voluntold.
Well, also they do have a screening process just because there is probably a very small select few people that can actually handle the emotional toll.
Right, the mental fortitude, because yes,
of time travel.
Yes, and they believe that Bruce Willis's character is one of those people.
Yeah, and like for a short bit too, like before they send him out, I believe he's like in this.
It's like a bio suit, but it's see-through, so it's kind of an interesting.
I was just like, I wasn't paying attention. I was doing something on the computer, so I wasn't paying attention for that bit. But did they already put him into the chair to go time travel before he went out into the world, right? Into the snowy landscape?
No. So he went to the snowy landscape first.
To collect data or something,
yeah,
right?
So he collected a couple bugs and things like that, because the scientists are basically, they're like, we're looking for a cure to the disease.
Yeah.
So we want to, go out and collect samples of living things, and that way we could study them and see if we can figure out why those things aren't affected by the disease.
While he was collecting that, I was just like, why are you need to collect like rats and pigs.
Right.
Because those are we test on rats a lot.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's maybe some crossover or something. The research is already there for you to do that and then see what's going on. And then also pigs, because I believe they're like the closest as far as like something. I don't know. They call people long pigs. So I was like, oh.
Right. They've got a lot of genetic similarities.
Well, yeah, which is kind of like, kind of weird.
We're pigs.
Not just men.
But yeah, so basically what they want to do is they send people back in time, and they're trying to find really like the exact time and the people who were involved with this disease getting created, getting released. That way, if they can send one of their scientists back, once they have a key point in time set, they can send one of their scientists back, collect the virus before it mutates into something,
into whatever
deadly.
Yeah, wipes the world clean.
And then they can be able to make a better antidote or vaccine or whatever
to reclaim the surface.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is every motto of a mole person.
Right.
We must reclaim the surface. But yeah, no. So James Cole, that's Bruce Willis's character. He gets selected for that program, and then he time travels. But time travel isn't exactly. I mean, they have the tech, but they don't have the precise, dock technology to go to a specific moment in time.
Right. So they know that the incident happens in 97. So they're trying to send him back to 96 to do some research.
Yeah. And
they end up sending him back to 1990.
Yeah. But Cole does get arrested because, the police get called. Because then, we get
like Terminator style. He shows up confused and naked.
Yeah. No, he had the suit on. Remember, because when we meet him in the cell, when what's it called? Dr. Kathleen comes in. He's in the cell with like the see-through suit, and he's like drooling.
He's drooling, but I thought he
wasn't naked.
Well, I thought that he showed up naked, and that's why the police
No, he had
arrested him, and then he didn't have any ID or anything to verify who he was, and he was babbling about being from the future and trying to find this virus that was going to destroy 5 billion people, and they were like, let's throw this guy in the...
No, I thought he had the same suit the bio suit that he had at the beginning of the movie.
Oh, I thought he was just in a suit that, because you can't be in an asylum naked, so I thought they were just kind of stuck him in,
just whatever suit that they had?
Yeah.
Hold on. All right, no, you're actually right, We had to look it up. I was like, no, I was sure he had the bio suit on. No, so yeah, he did. They found him naked, and he was like wearing some lady's raincoat.
Yeah.
And so Dr. Kathleen comes in, and the police is kind of giving her a full rundown. He's like, I think this guy is crazy. He's talking about the future.
Right, yeah. And so she's a psychiatrist. She's trying to get through to him, being like, "Hey, I'm a psychiatrist. I'm here to help you. I'm not the police. I'm not here to lock you up. I want to see, if there's anything I can do to assist you and get you out of here,
or like at least get you into an institution to help rehabilitate you."
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And so they end up sending him to an institution, and the orderly is like, hey Jeffrey, hey show the new guy around. And Jeffrey's played by Brad Pitt, and he's super erratic. I feel like Charlie Day got the way he acted in Always Sunny from this character.
I could see that.
Because he's super erratic. He's like, we got games, we got locked up games. You can't get those games. Ah.
Right. It gets so mad. Somebody keeps sitting in his seat.
Yeah. Yeah, he keeps harking back to that seat. He's like, get out of my seat.
Right. Yeah.
Super erratic.
Very manic.
Yeah. And I was like watching it. I was like, oh, I'll talk about that whole situation later. But like, I was watching a documentary on this as well, just to get some trivia and all that those points. But no, James also, after he gets like a full rundown of the facility, he's like, meeting people that like are crazy or mentally unwell and stuff. Like, we have a man in the full suit but no shoes.
Right. Yep. Bunny slippers.
Yes.
And he believes that he's in a mental construct, that he's actually still on his home planet of Oron or something like that.
Are we all in a mental construct? But no, James he gets presented in front of a council of psychiatrists, and he's like, I was supposed to come back. It's supposed to be 1996, but we're in 1990, and they sent me back to the wrong time. And
right,
it's super mad. He's like, the world is gonna end in 97, and the psychiatrist like, well, are you gonna be the one to save us? He's like, yes.
Well, he's like, no, I'm not. You can't change the future. We're just trying to find a cure.
Oh yeah, that's
We're trying to find a cure so that the rest of us can survive.
Yeah. And reclaim the surface.
And then he's like, hey, I've got a phone number that they gave me.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons they sent me back, is because I've got good memory and I've got a good strong brain. So I've got a phone number. If you allow me to call it, I can leave a message, and they'll get it, and then they'll be able to help me.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it's just like an old lady's home.
Yeah.
And so they're just like, oh, that's so unfortunate.
Right, which makes him look even crazier.
Yeah. But no, Dr. Kathleen, she's kind of conflicted, because like this whole time she's like, he just looks so familiar.
Right.
And so she takes a special interest in him, but nothing to the extent where she sticks her neck out. Right.
Because but just like his stories and his actions, he's not posing any kind of threat. He's just delusional.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's like there's something familiar about him. So like I want to be able to help him.
Yeah, but no, so he gets sent back to the room. It's like around nighttime. He's trying to like look out, but Brad Pitt's like, you can't reach him, dude.
Right.
He's like, these people don't know about me, man. They don't know my father is a big deal, and he's gonna be so mad when they find out that I'm here.
Right.
But
and while they're in the room, he sees the same kind of spider that he collected in the future, and he gets it, but he has no way to like store it, so he like just swallows it whole.
Yeah. Gross. I just like, I mean, you'll feel it going down, but that stomach acid can melt about just about anything.
Right.
But no, and then he starts. Jeffrey is like acting super manic. The orderlies come in and kind of tie him down.
Right.
But then the next day, he's like, hey, like, what are you here for? And James is just like, the world's gonna end. 5 billion people are gonna die.
Right.
A virus is gonna wipe out 5 billion people, and only the animals will be on the earth.
Right. And he's like, I'm looking for this group, the army of the 12 monkeys.
Yeah, and, you know, I gotta stop him. And he's like, oh, well, I guess you need to escape.
Right.
You know, if you're gonna save the world.
Yeah.
Right, and so Jeffrey's like, all right, I'll create a distraction.
Right, and he has now stolen a key from somebody.
Yeah. So Jeffrey is going crazy. He's creating this huge distraction, but Jeffrey also meanwhile while he's creating a distraction, he's yelling at James like, "Now it's your chance to get out of here."
Right. Yep. And he's a little off because he's heavily medicated.
I was like, swallow the spider.
And swallow the spider. Yes.
Yeah, so he's just struggling, but he does dash the key from one of the security guards.
Yeah.
And he's escaping slowly, and then one of the security guys looks at him. He's like, yeah, you should go and do something. You and do that. You know, it's like, what kind of security guard is this?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. One who doesn't care about his job.
I don't get paid enough, man. But no, he ends up getting caught by security again before he can fully make his escape.
Right.
And they tie him down to one of those, like a
gurney.
Yeah, like a gurney. I was like, the cuckoo bird nest Jack Nicholson thing.
Yeah, yeah. But full strap down.
Full strap.
Hands and feet.
Yeah.
And they lock him in a room like a solitary confinement.
Yeah, he is. There's who's going to no longer pose a threat. He's not going to rile up Jeffrey because Jeffrey was pretty calm before he got here.
Right. Yep.
But then all of a sudden they go back to Dr. Kathleen and he's like, oh, they're like they chime everybody. They alert everybody. It's like he's escaped. And so everyone goes there and they're like, how did he escape? This is like solitary confinement.
Right. Yep.
But we end up finding out that James Cole has now gone back into the future.
Right, and that's kind of the first time we realized that
he's not crazy.
And then he's it sucks him back. He doesn't really have a choice. He's got an allotted amount of time, and then boop, he kind of pops back
to the future.
Yeah. And
so he's explained to the scientists hey, I found a spider, but I ate it.
Right.
And one of the scientists is like, damn it. But I mean, would you really want that specimen because it's from the past? It hasn't been in the environment of the bacteria or the virus, right?
Right.
But
but I guess you could compare the two and then see if there's a mutation or something.
But no, and Cole's like, hey, guy, I could do this. You guys took me out too early. You guys gotta send me back.
Right.
But they accidentally sent him back to the First World War.
Yep.
He's like, he gets shot in the leg.
But he does see one of his neighboring cellmates.
Yeah.
In the World War, and that person's already been there for a while because they're actively participating in the war to blend in, and he shows up naked.
Yeah. And then they dash him back into the And then after that, what's it called? A photo does get taken of him though, next to that soldier. But then he gets automatically dashed back into 1996.
Right.
Right. And meanwhile, Dr. Kathleen, she's doing this whole a talk, like a TED talk.
Right. Yeah. Because now it's 6 years later.
Yeah.
She's written a book. It's kind of almost inspired by him.
Yeah.
Because she's now looked into history about people who have prophesied the end of the world and the psychology of that, and this really weird coincidence that there's a couple of people in the past who've showed up and claimed this the end of the world was going to be 1997 and then just magically disappeared.
Yeah, and they, the whole book it's centered around the Cassandra complex.
Yeah,
who from mythology, I don't know if it's Greek or whatever, was a prophet or an oracle. The naked redheaded chick from 300. I was like, it's cold in that room, isn't it? But no, and that's the whole thing. And then when she's doing some book signings, one scientist comes and he's kind of off-putting. He's that actor that always plays. He's never a good guy.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know what it is about him.
And even when he's a good guy, he ends up being a bad guy later on.
I don't understand why he can't just be a good guy just once.
Yeah.
But no, like, he's, like, super, like, kind of talking to Dr. Kathleen, and he's like, at some point, she stops listening to him, and she's talking to other people, but he's always like, yeah, you never know, this virus, oh.
Yeah, and he kind of, like, I don't know, yeah, you definitely get that he's...
creepy.
He is somehow going to be connected with the end of the world.
Yeah. But no, like, so the event ends, you know, everyone's like, hey, we're going to go to a bar, you know, kind of celebrate your little book tour thing. And
yep.
You should come. And she's like, no, I'm just going to go home, right? And so she ends up going to her car, but then a homeless person accosts her.
Right.
I'm using that word right? Accosted.
Yep.
And she's like, oh, please don't. Please just take everything. She's like, no, you got to drive me. You gotta drive me somewhere. She's like, just take the car.
Right,
she's
yeah.
She's like, I don't know how to drive. And she's like, where do you want me to drop you off? Philadelphia. She's like, that's an hour away. Please just take everything. And then she's like, but he says something. He's like, you said you could help me. You know? Dr. Kathleen. She's like, who are you? He's like, oh my God, James Cole. And she's like, you disappeared 6 years ago. How did you... I don't even know how you got out of that thing. And have you been, like, following me? He's like, no, I just saw this flyer.
For her book signing.
Yeah, for her book signing. And she's like, please just take her. She's like, no, you got to drive me to Philadelphia. And so, like, now it's been reported that she's been, like she's been missing.
Right.
Because I believe one of her assistants was like, that's not like Dr. Kathleen. She's usually... very like, I'm gonna go home and she's at home, you know.
And there was he was caught on camera
accosting her,
not accosting her, but
abducting her, following
her, basically,
stalking her.
And so then they're like, oh, this is the runaway crazy person from 6 years ago that, you know, eluded the police
for 6 years,
and now all of a sudden he's back and after the same doctor.
Yeah, with the vengeance. No, but they end up, what's it called? They end up doing it overnight at some, like, just shitty motel.
Right.
And, you know, she's, like, she's tied down. And
every time you hear the news, there's, like, this kind of ongoing story about some little boy who fell down a well. Mm-hmm. And it's totally... I totally, at this point, there was that baby Jessica who fell down a well, and it was like the whole state, like in real life, the whole state rallied around, like, we got to save this girl. How long can she survive in this well that she had fallen and her, like, leg had bent behind her and there was no way for her to move or climb or anything. And it was like
a hoax.
Well, in here it ends up being a hoax.
Yeah. Oh, well, sorry, go ahead.
In real life, it actually happened, and they had to, you know.
No, I do remember that. No, because in my head I was thinking about Balloon Boy. Yes, that was a hoax.
Yes.
Yeah. And like, he does make mention. He's like, never cry wolf. You know, that's what my mother always said.
Yep.
And she's like, you have no empathy. You should feel bad for that boy. And
right. And
he does.
And he's like, well, yeah, but, you know, everybody felt bad for him until they found out that he was just playing a prank and he was hiding in the barn the whole time.
And she's like, how could you possibly know that? You're a liar.
Right.
Because at this point, she's like, he's just a crazy person, right?
And we do occasionally, every time he goes to sleep, he has a little flashbacky dream of basically a young child, maybe 8 years old.
Yeah, I would say, like, probably, I don't know, it's a big kid, but, you know, there are some big kids out there.
Right. Maybe 10, like that kind of age range, in an airport seeing somebody get shot.
Yeah, but he also sees her, but then she's blonde.
Right.
Or something like that. So he's like, it must not be her.
And he mentions that, and she's like, oh, as a psychiatrist, I got to say that it's never been me in your dream, but now that you're with me and you've abducted me, your mind is just replacing that other person with me now, and you just remember it as always being me.
Yeah.
But it's just an illusion in your head.
Yeah. But in the motel. He he buys some food. Yeah, like it's we do like that's when the news report that she's been abducted by somebody, and so they still like, all right, we got to get to Philadelphia. Once we get to Philadelphia, I can find things, right? And so what they do get to Philadelphia. They see this like homeless camp or whatever, this underground camp, but Bruce Willis ends up like killing somebody there. just unrelenting rage, just pushed upon this vagrant.
Well, it's like you come from an apocalyptic future where like basically you speak with your fists.
Yeah.
And when somebody tries to mug them.
Yeah, he's like, nope, pop, killed you.
Yep.
But no, they end up finding this like abandoned like corner store, and they're like, hey, we're looking. Well, like first when they get to Philadelphia, he's like, wait, hold on, and then he like rips away these like flyers, and it's like the sign of the 12 monkeys.
Yeah, it's like graffiti of the 12 monkeys.
Yeah, and then they go to the vagrant community, and that's when he kills somebody, and then they go to the corner store, and they're like, hey, we're looking for the 12 monkeys, but they're like, you gotta get out of here. There's no monkeys over here.
Right.
But Bruce Willis or James is like, no, and he like ties them all up, and then he gets information from them.
Right, and he has a gun that he had taken from the guy who tried to mug them.
Oh yeah, and the doctor's like, you've never had a gun this whole time. But no, they spill some information, and like, well, you gotta go to this like pharmaceutical whatever company.
Right.
Type of, they're hosting an event.
Yeah, and so they're basically like, hey, we were created as a group as like the sit-in people. We're the people who are like splash paint on the Enola Gray to protest war, stuff like that. But then our leader has kind of gone off the deep end and got a little nutso,
radical,
a little radical. So we don't really follow him. We're just kind of like still connected to him by name, and like group name.
Yeah, but we're just gonna do our own thing. Very Miles Morales. You'll know who he is in the future.
Right. Yep.
But no, before they get to that place, because James is like, I gotta kill this guy.
Yeah.
Again, very Terminator. Right? But when they're like sort of like washing off in this river, she's like, you gotta stop this. You can't kill somebody. And for a little bit he holds like the doctor, but then he grips her. Yeah. And it seems like he's gonna hurt her.
Right. Yeah, and she definitely thinks, oh, now I've hugged you, and now you're gonna. Now that mental switch is like that obsession switch of you have to.
Yeah,
possess me kind of thing.
And it kind of cuts to black, and then now we're at this gala.
Yeah.
It's not a regatta gala. That's the only kind of regattas or galas I know of. But I think that's for boats.
Yes.
But no, James is like kind of like stowing away like underneath a car.
Yep.
Until he breaks in there, and then we find out like, what's it called? Well, they sort of find him. They do capture him, because they go up to Brad Pitt's character, Jeffrey, and he's like, Mr. Jeffrey, there's somebody.
Right. And here. He seems more lucid now, and he's in a suit, and he's like, working for the company that his dad owns, which is this just biogenetic company.
Yeah, but like there's something off about his eye now, so I was like, did they give him a lobotomy or something? Did you notice that, or is it just me?
His eye was always a little twitchy, but yes, it's definitely
but, like, it's off center now.
Yeah.
They accidentally hit like a nerve during the lobotomy, but he's like, oh, hey, what's up, Arnold? Hey, give me a hug.
Yeah, he's like, of course, this guy's my friend. I told you, I invited him. I told you it was a formal event. You wearing like a knapsack, and you should have been wearing a suit, but that's okay. I'll give you a tour of the place.
Right, but he dashes him away, takes him away, and he's like, oh, hey, man, just to let you know that thing that you're talking about, I brought it up to my dad, and they're like, ha, ha, ha. Right? And then, but he's like, James says something to him, and it kind of upsets him.
Right.
And he's like,
because they get into an argument, because he's like, I know that you're going to be the one who releases the virus. I just need some of it so I can take it back to the future, so to save the humanity from extinction. And he's like, no, it's not my idea. You're the one who convinced me that we should do this. And you're like, yes, we got to get this virus. We got to release it. We got to destroy the world because the world is a terrible place. And he's like, no.
The animals must reclaim the world.
Yeah. And he's like, no, I'm trying to save humanity. He's like, no,
humanity is garbage.
Yeah, you're the one who convinced me that we got to, the animals are the ones, the true saviors of the world.
Yeah, and so he calls the security, kind of try to get him away.
Yeah.
Right, and so he ends up escaping the compound, even though like they caused this huge commotion.
Right.
His dad is like now sort of a little upset, He's like, "What the hell is going on?" But no, James Cole is able to escape the situation. But on the news in the kitchen is like, "Oh, a body has been found in the forest of Philadelphia, possibly Dr. Caitlin, who had been abducted by her former patient." Right, and they're like, "Oh man, he did kill her." Oh, jeez. But then by the time he gets back to his car, she's in a boot.
Yep.
And she like pops out of there like Ken Jeong from The Hangover. No little dick this time. Yeah. And she's like fighting James. She's like, "How could you put me in there? I could have died. What if you never came back?"
Right.
Because like during this whole time, she's had some spots where she could have escaped.
Right.
But she doesn't. Maybe it's that looming thought that he looks so familiar. Maybe it's her like savior complex. I have doctor complex. I have to save this patient, or anything. But at this point, she's like, "James, you have to surrender yourself. It's not too late. I can put you in an institution. You won't go to jail, and I can help you. Because it's also just another part of her book. It's going to push her book even more.
Totally. Yeah, this is the sequel.
Yeah. But so she starts honking the horn, and James is at the river kind of washing his hands and all that stuff. But then, like, when she looks back to where James is, he's completely disappeared.
Yeah.
Again, and so she gets saved. She goes back to, like, her life, sort of. Right. But like,
she fills out.
I'm sorry, I forgot.
Excuse me.
I forgot. No, sorry.
So she fills out the police report and stuff. And really interestingly, the guy who's taking the report is a really young guy from the CSI,
Law and Order.
The guy from Happy.
Yeah. No, I wanted to say, well, like during their travels, she did end up pulling a bullet from his leg.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I forgot to mention that.
Yes, because when he hides it for a while, but eventually she's like, "Your leg is messed up," and he's like, "Oh yeah, because the bullet's still in it." Yeah. He's like, "Oh, I'm a doctor, not really a surgeon, but I should be able to at least
get that out,
and then you'll be okay till you can get some antibiotics."
Yeah. So like, when she goes to pull, she has the bullet.
Yeah.
Here's the bullet and all that stuff. It is the guy from Law and Order, and he's like, "Why?" He's like, "Why do all the people that get kidnapped try to tell me that the kidnapper's not that bad of a guy?"
Yep.
Or girl, women can kidnap too.
Yeah.
Mainly children though, which is really sad. But no, so she goes back to her apartment, and then on the news it says like the boy had been found and it was a prank and he was hiding in the barn, and now her mind is fucking blown. Right. But we do cut away to Bruce Willis back in the future.
And so it's a really interesting, like, dynamic. Because now all of a sudden she's believing that he might be from the future. Because there's just too many things he's known or things that he's doing that just... that are kind of proving that he is. And then he gets back to the future and he wakes up and he's thinking, I live in the 1996 and I am actually crazy. And I just had a little snap and my brain is in this delusion that I'm in the future again. And I'm, I have to try to calm myself and relax and get myself under control so I can go back to 1996 because that's my real reality. Not here. And so it's a real interesting dynamic as like
they're switching sides. But then the scientists are like, hey, you did a good enough job. Like they kind of pinpointed and everything like that. So they're going to be able to send somebody back to fix everything.
Right.
or whatever.
And they're like, hey, you've done a good enough job. We've given you a full pardon.
Yeah, and so what do you want? And he's like, send me back to 1996.
Right. And they even ask, are you addicted? And he's like, no. He's like, I have now made contact with the person who's carrying the virus and the doctor who can save us.
Yeah.
And so, like, I'm really the ideal person to go back because everybody else is going to have to remake those contacts and refine those things. Yeah. And I already, like, have, like, a mental map of
everything.
And
so they're like, all right, well, fine. We'll send you back, But, like, meanwhile, she gets a call from the police, like, hey, that bullet that you sent to us, that's a bullet from 1920. That's weird.
Yeah. How did he have a bullet that was, 80 years old in his leg?
Exactly. But she has, like, these photos from her book that had talked about somebody who prophesized the end of humanity.
Yep. And then so when she goes and she looks at this person who then all of a sudden in the war got shot and was talking about the
end of time.
The end of time. She sees Bruce Willis's character like in the background of the picture, and it's like, what? How is it possible?
Yeah, exactly.
He's for real from the future, from the past.
Yeah, so she ends up going back to the building with the 12 monkeys, and Brad Pitt is now in there, and they're planning their course of attack.
Yeah.
And she's like, I see you guys, super acting frantic. The police had contacted her saying that they were going to find James Cole, so she's trying to stop that whole situation, but all of a sudden James Cole ends up showing up, and he's like, hey, Doc, I need help.
Yeah.
I need you to set me straight. I'm lucid right now.
Right.
And all that. She's like, no, you're right. You're completely right.
And he's like, why are you trying to convince me that I'm from the future? Yeah. I can't be. I'm a crazy person who just thinks he's from the future.
She's like, no, you're 100% right. We gotta get out of here. The police are about to capture you. So they evade the police.
Yeah.
They end up going to like a motel, and he's like, $35 an hour. She's like, an hour? She's like, what do you want? Increments of 15 minutes? Jeez. He ends up like calling a pimp that is doing his business out of that motel, and they end up getting into a fight. Bruce Willis is able to subdue him fairly quickly, only after smacking this doctor. Like, jeez. But he ends up pulling his teeth.
Yeah, because he
tracking device
runs into a homeless person who's like, hey, I know you're one of us. I remember that if you decide that you want to get away from them, they track you with your teeth. And then he smiles, and he just like this homeless person with no teeth. And he's like, oh, that's not a big surprise.
Yeah,
but.
So Bruce Willis ends up putting this pimp in the bathroom, kind of beats on him a little bit more, but then ends up pulling out his teeth, and they kind of they stow away at a porn theater or something. and she's kind of like sort of dressing him up a little bit differently, right? And she's like, "Don't worry, we're gonna get out of here. We'll go to Key West."
Right. Oh yeah, and so he's bald in this.
Yeah.
So she gets like a pretty decent wig, a little long hair wig, something that's very different style. She puts a little fake mustache on him, and then she dyes her hair blonde.
Yeah. Well he wakes up and he's like, "Oh fuck, did I time travel again?" But no, yeah. Then he wakes up with the whole disguise, and she's outside.
Yeah.
With the new dyed hair, and she's like, "I got it. We're gonna be able to escape."
Right, and this is the 90s, so she could just call on the phone and reserve airline tickets without any major ID or anything.
Yeah. Oh, I did forget to say, sorry, there's a lot of moving parts in this movie, but before they did all this, they did end up calling after the motel. They end up calling a number because he said in 1990 that there's a number, but it's like 6 years prior, so the number isn't going to hit. So they're like, let's call this. And then it kind of refortifies like her belief that he's from the future, because she's like, oh, it was just a carpet cleaning company. I left a message just as a joke, And then she starts reciting the message, but then James Cole ends up finishing it.
Yeah.
And he's like, they played me that about you.
Right.
And
and he was like,
happening.
it was a message that I left, and I was wondering why I had a girl's voice.
Yeah.
And he's like, and I didn't recognize.
Yeah, and so like that also like kind of refortifies in his mind that he's like, oh fuck, I am from the future.
Yeah.
Right. And so yeah, they end up going to the airport, but the police have now gone to the airport. It's like, hey, here's some photos. These people are pretty dangerous. Call us.
Right.
We'll be around.
And there's this kind of reoccurring, like you said, there's this reoccurring thing about the boy in the well, but there's also like this reoccurring commercial or whatever that kind of seems to pop up about Key West, and he's like, keeps saying like, I've never been on a beach where there's sun. I've never been to the ocean. So she's like, hey, you know what? Why don't we go there? And then if the world does end, it's the most beautiful place to be in, to watch the world end. And if the world doesn't end, it's the most beautiful place to evade the police from.
First of all, Florida is not. You've been to Key West?
Yeah.
No? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it beautiful?
It is beautiful. And this would have been 20 years ago. Or
30 years.
30 years ago. Yeah, so
Almost.
even better.
Yeah.
Not so crowded, not so polluted.
No, there's still the Florida man looming around.
Yeah.
No, but so they end up getting there. She's like, hey, hold on. I'll go get the tickets. Just sit tight. He ends up calling the carpet cleaning company. And then all of a sudden, the guy that we saw at the beginning of the movie that was in the containment with him.
Right. And then was also the guy that he met in World War I.
Yeah, he's like, hey man, listen, you gotta do this. You gotta kill this guy, because if you don't, I gotta kill the girl.
Right.
I don't want to do that. Don't make me kill an innocent person, man. Yeah. And at the same time, the bioengineer guy from her book signing is also there. Right. And he had rattled off a list of places that Bruce Willis had got rattled off to.
Different locations
and
different
places,
points in the world, like major cities in the world where infection looks like it had started.
Yeah,
and that's all his destinations over this week-long trip.
Yeah, and obviously the teller couldn't keep her fucking business to herself. Like, oh, looks like someone's been traveling.
Right. Yep.
It always super awkward, like when you're at a cashier. Looks like somebody's hungry. Yeah, I'm at a grocery store, lady. Of course. Like, can we just get on about her day? No, I was kidding. Yeah, it's sometimes I'll humor it if it's a nice old lady.
Right. Yep.
But no, yeah, and so like now James is just super out of it because he's like, I recognize this airport. This is the airport in my dreams, and then, so we do get a small cut of James as a child. Yeah. In the airport, and then and now she's like worried because she had run into the bioengineer guy, and she's like,
and at this point they're still looking for Brad Pitt.
Yeah. Because
they're expecting him to show up here with the virus.
Oh yeah.
But it turns
on the way.
But it turns out that he's been arrested because the night before he and released the 12 monkeys broke into the zoo and released all the animals into the city because that was the portion of the
prophecy
that he was going to do, and it turns out that he wasn't involved in the virus in any way.
Yeah, he just wanted to release some animals because he felt like that was his part of the prophecy.
Yeah.
That's the conversation that they had on the way to the airport because the lady's like, well, you never know, these damn 12 monkeys, they release all the animals from the Philadelphia Zoo. And so they come together and they're like, we gotta take care of this guy. He's the reason the world ends and all that stuff. And the huge commotion happens. The police have noticed James and Dr. Kathleen, but James sees the doctor go, with the virus there. He does get kind of held up, during TSA check-in.
Right, because there still is a metal detector in the 90s.
But this is still this is before the unfortunate 2001 event, and so he's like, I'm I have papers for it, and so they kind of pass him through, but James runs after her because he doesn't want Dr. Kathleen to get murdered.
Right. Yep.
So he runs after her with the gun, and Dr. Kathleen's trying to like hold off the police, but they end up shooting James in front of young James.
Right.
And the doctor gets away, Dr. Kathleen's trying to hold the blood in and hold the wounds in, but then, James ends up passing away.
Yeah.
Right. And so the bioengineer gets on the plane, and like this lady, he sits next to this lady, and all you kind of hear is just her ramblings like, oh, people are so violent these days. I mean, Jesus, a shooting at the airport. And he's like, it might as well just be the end of the world and let the animals reclaim the surface or something like that.
Yep.
But then we notice that the doctor or the person that's saying that is a doctor from the future.
Yeah.
And the bioengineer is like, well, you're totally right. That should happen. And then the movie just...
But the one other part is after James gets shot and she's holding him and he's dying, she looks up and she makes eye contact with the kid.
With young James.
And that's kind of like the...
familiarity.
When they lock those eyes, that's why... he's been dreaming of her, and because obviously she's part of this huge traumatic event in his life, and that's why she's recognizing something that seems familiar because he's got the same eyes.
But that's from '96. She said he was familiar from 1990. Paradox. But you never know. Like, when you research so much, especially for her, who's in nothing but research.
So she's starting to see. She saw him in this picture.
Yeah. So and she just never connected it until.
Yeah, you're right.
The bullet. So yeah. But no, the movie ends after that whole situation, and all that stuff. Let's before we get into our thoughts about the movie, let's go into our other section where we have a high star and low star.
So we got a 10 out of 10, surprisingly deep and on point. This is one of the best dystopian movies ever made, but it also has another perspective, which is the exploring the nature of reality. It toys with the viewer in a way that is really justified by plot. The lead actors both show a range of their skills here in this more art than action effort. The movie is aged well. In a similar class to Blade Runner, this is intelligent sci-fi at its best. Wholeheartedly recommend.
That's from 2019, guys. And this one's from 2011. 1 out of 10. Not as good as expected. I expected a great film, especially after reading the glowing reviews on IMDb, but I was disappointed. The main characters seem to be annoying and incompetent. The story was okay, but you don't really feel as though anything of consequence has happened or have been achieved by the end of the film. Overall, you feel as though the film goes nowhere and does nothing. It also manages to do this at a achingly slow pace and with no memorable characters or even a character you can identify with. How this film has scored high is so beyond me. I thought it was terrible. Yeah, that's fair. Like it could be fairly
not fair.
confusing.
That guy is an idiot.
I mean, the 1 out of 10 is pretty low. I feel like this movie, I feel like maybe this movie, there is a series on it. I'm kind of interested in watching that.
Right, 2015?
Yeah, it's from 2015. So that might, having the 10 episodes, that's 10 hours of being able to really flesh out characters, plot, and everything, that might actually help this movie. Some movies are kind of meant to be series more than movies.
Right, yeah. I'm like, definitely, especially in the past, there's a lot of...
The Dark Tower.
Before you had the era of HBO, Netflix, amazing series.
Prime.
A lot of books and ideas were just movies because you didn't get the budget to do it as a series.
Yeah, it was just probably far too much.
A lot of it had to, you take, here's an idea that's 10 hours long. How do we cut this to 2 hours?
Yeah.
Or an hour 45? And
yeah. So one of the things I wanted to say early on during the recap is the way that Brad Pitt is acting super erratic is Terry Gilliam was like, bro, I'm going to take these cigarettes from you. Because at that time, or maybe I don't know if he still does, but at the time he was a cigarette smoker. And so going through like withdrawal and everything probably made him act a lot more erratic.
Yeah.
Than maybe before he was when he was smoking cigarettes. But it probably also helped him in that role. He did end up getting like an Academy Award nomination for his role in this movie. Which is like I believe it was great for him because I mean he already had a pretty. I feel like Brad Pitt, especially early on in his career, got really pigeonholed into things, but after Seven showed him like with his range and everything.
Right.
Obviously, I still kind of meme the "What's in the box?" Yeah. but like But like him in his earlier roles too, it just kind of painted him in the whole pretty boy thing, especially with Thelma and Louise being one of the more big roles that he had early on in his career.
Right.
But I feel like Brad Pitt has a funny bone. He's great in the comedic roles that he's been able to get.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, because Burn After Reading.
Yeah.
Super
that was
funny.
Exactly the one I was thinking of.
Yeah. Bullet Train. That one was a little bit of action, a lot of comedy,
right,
and all that stuff. And so, like it's I don't know if maybe he's slowing down on acting because I haven't really seen him in too much. He does like little cameos, like he was in the Deadpool 2 movie as the Invisible Guy.
Yep.
And so, but Seven gave him more range with the whole thriller drama.
Yeah, and then he ended up doing some action movies where he was Troy.
Yeah. Oh man, that's my best friend's favorite movie.
That was one. It's so weird. I really liked Brad Pitt, and then I saw him in the previews with like long blonde hair, and I was just like, nope, not doing it. I'm boycotting this movie.
You boycotted Troy?
I am not going to watch this because he looks terrible. And then I saw it like once it came out on video, and I was like, oh my God, why did I see all the movies in the theater. Why did I not see this one?
That has like one of my favorite lines in cinema. And it's also just like, it's a line in actual literature. It's when he was fighting Hector and he tells Hector there's no pacts between lions and men. I was like, that's such a dope line. That's so hard.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, no, like during that stint for Brad Pitt, it was covered of like, oh, okay, you're gonna do action, whatever, But like, I love to see him out of the action thing and more just like normal or like funny roles,
right? Yeah.
Because it's such a there's this thing in anime called like Gap Mo. So Mo is like usually characters that are like really cutesy and everything, but then you put the gap in there, and then it means like, oh yeah, it looks cute, but it's like fucking evil or something like that.
Oh, okay, okay.
And so like when it's like totally the reverse of what you see, and Brad Pitt is such a handsome guy that like when he does like the funny stuff, it's more funny to me just because he's so like handsome.
Right. Yep.
It kind of humanizes him.
Yeah.
As far as things, it's like totally the opposite.
And he does like he's got an incredible amount of range.
Yeah.
For being somebody that's that good looking, like he can't have.
It's not fair.
You're right.
It's like Hugh Jackman. It's like Hugh Jackman singing. It's like why can you sing? Why can you do? Oh my God, Logan. Why can you do drama so good?
Yeah. Yep.
Stop being good, Hugh Jackman. No, another thing I wanted to point out for this is like the soundtrack is amazing.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. Like not really. There's no. There's a couple songs which are kind of like oldie songs that are.
But it's like intentional.
Very intentional. That like, oh, I remember this as a kid.
Yeah.
Stop on the radio. But yeah, the sound, the score for the background is very intentional and very like. It's like.
Yeah, I love it.
Mood enhancing.
Yeah, I love it because the director for like the music, for the score has worked with like, Elton John was like the big one that I remember from the documentary. But I love that they use like these, I believe he's like French or he's some sort of European, but he uses like these like European sort of elements, and he for the main theme, it's like they kind of dubbed it like Argentinian salsa,
Yeah,
so like because that main theme at first it comes like whatever, but then they played it over and over again, and you're like, it kind of is like almost like an earworm. It kind of gets stuck, and you like it more and more, and all that stuff.
Right.
So I think those aspects are really great for the movie. But like you said too, with like the whole like the 10 out of 10 guy says, the movie does age fairly well. You know?
Right. Yeah. I'm like, it's got the good fortune of being made right before technology got leaped.
Yeah.
You know, so like not everybody has cell phones and cameras, and there's not the internet. You know, you're still doing things on TV and radio, and Terry Gilliam does so much of his movie practical.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's like a strong. I mean, one, he's like old. He's an old school film director, but like, yeah, I just think like, you know, when you look at old movies, a lot of old movies just still hold up for today's standards, and that's just because it's just like everything was in camera.
Yeah,
nothing. It doesn't look too cheesy.
It's
or anything.
So funny because like movies that like from 25 years ago, and they started putting CG in. Like, I remember the CG looking so good, and then now you go back and watch it, and it looks so bad, and you're like, how was that okay? Like that.
Well, because you never seen it. That's why.
I think you're right.
It's
right, exactly.
It's like James here. You know, when he first like hears music, like, oh man, like it's just like he's just like, oh fuck, that sounds so beautiful.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, because I can't imagine, like, you know, like life, you know, it's just like life without like the things that we take advantage as like a full abled like body or person.
Right.
You're like, oh man, you know, and like you see it in these characters that like time travel from dystopian futures when they, you know, like it would have been like really great if like the movie ended where he like maybe he got shot at a beach or something, because then you could have like. Then that's where you're really turning on the acting factor, because then it's all in the face, and like, how beautiful is that fucking ocean? But like, you get it with like when they first turn on the radio during the abduction,
right?
And he's just like he lays back, and he just like it's almost like an orgasm to him,
right? Yeah,
he's like, oh
yeah. Bruce Willis back in his day, like he was. He's a pretty talented guy.
Well, yeah, I feel like he also just like he was taking more challenging or just more roles that were different for him.
Right? Yeah.
You know, obviously now like Bruce Willis, I believe he has like, does he have cancer or something, or like a disability?
Yeah,
that,
like, yeah, because he doesn't
not,
even speak anymore. I don't think
it's not like Parkinson's or something like that. It's just something that's, you know, sort of disabled him into doing anything, you know, and like, but like, you know, from like from the remakes or the continuation of the Die Hard series, and sort of like his reputation of being a little bit difficult to work with,
right?
Mainly stemming from Kevin Smith. It was fun, like during Cop Out, he had like this huge like beef with Kevin Smith.
Yeah,
it's kind of rough because like Bruce Willis coming. You know, especially during that time in his career, coming off like, you know, working with big name people, and then going to Kevin Smith, who's more of a indie filmmaker.
Right.
You know, he's kind of shitting on Kevin Smith the whole time. Like, you're not going to use that lens, man. What am I working with? That's kind of hindered him. But like, yeah, definitely early on in like Bruce Willis' career, he was doing like family comedies. He was doing action. He was doing sci-fi. I mean.
Right.
This, and then the year after he did freaking Fifth Element.
Oh, right.
Or something like that.
Yeah, that was behind Die Hard. That was probably his biggest movie.
Yeah, and like that movie was pretty ahead of its time. Even when you watch it today, it looks good.
Right. That's one of those ones. Lots of special effects, and they did a good job, and like a lot you see it, but it's
they not did as it doesn't seem as outdated as it should,
right,
you know. But then they also like they did a lot of practical effects for that too, for like the aliens and stuff. And oh my gosh, Mila Jovovich in that movie, Yeah, I would love to have a partner just like, hey, you want to call, spice it up in the bedroom? It's like, yes. Can you be Mila Jovovich from Fifth Element? That is my Princess Leia in the bikini.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, man, I fell for like she was super actress crush on her after.
Oh, yeah.
I knew her before that and I liked her, but like yeah.
Yeah, no, after that I think she was doing a lot more action stuff. So she was like she was like the 90s version of Sigourney Weaver, super action.
Right. Yeah, that's
and all that stuff. Yeah, like don't ever comment at us and be like, you guys don't like strong female characters. Those are the ones that give us boners. A strong female character that can kick ass. Yeah, Mila Jovovich. Yeah, because I also do remember her. She was a prostitute and he got game with Denzel Washington.
Right.
I think that was like after that movie. Oh man. Like any specific points in this movie that like really stood out to you, Colby?
Like I said, it was fun watching this again after a long time and realizing it was part of this of a Terry Gilliam movie. And like I kind of rewatched it and I noticed all of his camera angles, his shooting style, his directing style, that I never picked up on. Like I said, it's probably been 20 years since I've seen it. I've probably only seen it, 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
But it was just really fun to especially since now I've watched we did 2 Terry Gilliam movies. I've watched about 5 other ones just in this month. And so it's really fun to just see that style. Just like you got Sam Raimi where he's got the Dr. Octopus arm or the tree root, and then that's his signature thing. Every movie's got that
feel
of something's crawling and coming after you, and I love that directors have that
signature to their films and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Any theories to the end of the movie? Were they able to stop the virus from spreading? Were they able to save humanity? Was the doctor able to get a sample?
Right. So it's really interesting because if she's there, well, I guess she couldn't stop it. She would have to collect it.
Yeah.
Because he's already opened 1 vial.
Oh yeah, he put it into that TSA agent's nose. He's like, yeah, smell that.
And I guess you think, oh, he's going to release the virus. Everybody obviously is going to know. But think of like COVID,
just one person.
But you got it, and you were contagious for 5 days before you showed any symptoms.
Yep.
You if you go on an airplane, if you intentionally know you have COVID and you're I'm just going to take airplane trips to the most densely populated 5 cities of the world, how quickly can I spread this disease?
Well, yeah.
I mean,
it's a math problem I don't want to solve.
Right. That's like the board game Pandemic, where you're where you are the virus and you're trying to destroy the world.
Him exposing it to that one TSA agent,
yeah,
and then the amount of people that TSA agent sees in a day that goes onto specific flights, and then now those people are contagious. Yeah,
and say if it's like COVID and he's contagious for 5 days before he even starts showing symptoms, how many people is he walking by, breathing on for a 5-day period? How many cities are they going to?
Yeah, how many luggages is he touching?
Right.
Yeah, the numbers are astronomical, exponential. Yeah, it's crazy. But I would like to, because they leave it open ended. I would like to think that she was able to possibly get a sample before he got into anybody, and her to maybe not reverse engineer it, or maybe reverse. I don't know the specific terms for that.
Right.
But just develop a antibody.
But I know multiple times they insinuated or even specifically said that. He's we can't change the future. The future's already happened.
Yeah.
So we're just looking for a way to inoculate ourselves so the 1% of humanity that's still alive doesn't die to this disease.
Yeah,
And so if that 1% can come back to the surface, we can start again.
Yeah, but you just know that that 1%, you know, that the human race coming after that is gonna be dumb. You know, there's gonna be a lot of interbreeding. I feel like.
Right. Yeah, but I thought it was interesting because that it made so much more sense. Because at the beginning, just like you said, you're like, why is there a bear and a lion roaming the city? But if everybody's getting sick and starting to die at the same time that all the animals from a zoo get loose, maybe they are actually just, they're breeding and they're humanity is, if they're not susceptible to the disease and people are dying, they're food.
The people?
The people are food. Wow. Oh. That's why there's no people. There's no dead bodies all around. You have all these animals that just escaped.
Well, I feel like a lot of those, and then I feel like a lot of those humans are just in the 1% are just in underground shelters,
right?
And having to breathe in those HIPAA regulated filters.
Yes.
But no, that's the best case scenarios for her to be able to get a sample of the virus, and then inoculate people with antibodies that are able to fight out the virus, right. And just start repopulating. I mean, hey, it's that air is probably going to be mad clean. Not clean. The air is not going to be clean, but you're going to be immune to the virus that's in the air. Man, I just can't imagine. It's probably it's popping a pimple, just finally outside getting some sun. Or just imagine how many people are gonna get sunburned after that.
Right, yeah. You forget about stuff like sunscreen when nobody's in the sun in 20 years.
Right.
The one thing that a few kind of reviewers were like, is it all in his head? Is he actually a crazy person? And the one thing that they all point out is a few times he talks to a disembodied voice.
Yeah.
It's like somebody in the next room that's talking to him, or somebody in the hospital from another bed, but you never see those people. Is it somebody who's talking to him and trying to give him advice because they know somehow they've escaped the system? And they're following him because they know. Is it him in the in his future? Well, I guess he's died. So, but is it, or is it just is it the voice of reality in his brain trying to bring him back?
So what I want to believe is that obviously he's grown up way differently than a lot of people. And so there might have been bouts of isolation that he had.
Oh, right.
And, if you're alone enough, your brain is going to do something to try to keep you, from breaking.
Yeah.
And so that could have been also just a DID situation. Let me create a voice for you to talk to, because you never know, because you don't get a lot of context on how they've been brought up. So there might have been a possible bouts of isolation that he had to kind of suffer from.
Right.
Especially, maybe during the screening phases, they're well, let's see, because you have to have a strong mental fortitude, right? And so maybe they isolated him for a year by himself in a room with very little stimulant.
Right.
Something like that. That's because everything else checks out.
And the stress of this time gap jump. Yeah. Because they mentioned that he's got to have a strong mind to be able to do it, and that's why they've picked him. But that's certainly, that could be a possibility, a breaking point, a splitting personality or something.
Because everything else kind of checks out. That was the only I wouldn't say plot hole, but the only inconsistency that for at least the viewer.
Right.
Because you could look at James Cole as being a very unreliable narrator, but then when everything else is, or maybe we're also getting brought into his madness, but then everything else is kind of checking out. You're
right.
This scientist is running away. He has the virus. The virus is real.
Yeah.
And he's in a freaking photo from the 1920s. I know Keanu Reeves, they say he's a vampire. Maybe he is. We're still not sure. You know what I mean? Who else? Paul Rudd also has. But again, these are strong lines of white people lineages. You guys, I believe. I like to believe that like Euro history or whatever just has the most publicly well documented line or like library of things, because obviously Asia was like a little bit more underdeveloped. China was like, nah, we're gonna be closed off for like 2,000 years or something like that. So
Right, yeah.
Eurocentric things, it just has a much longer line. But man, the bullet in his leg coupled with the photo of him in 1920 does make a really strong argument that he isn't crazy.
Yeah.
We're coming up to the closing of our videos, so make sure to check out all of our other months down below. We have a bunch of you, and honestly, at this point, I'm mad at myself that we don't have a Keanu Reeves month.
Have we even really done any Keanu movies?
No, not really.
I know what I'm picking next time if I can't think of something better.
But we have a whole bunch of the things down there for you. We have Space Debris Month, In Space Month. We have Danny Trejo Month. We have specific actor months, and now it's specific director months.
Right. We did a Robert Pattinson month, and then most of those movies were Cronenberg movies,
esque type of movies.
So it we almost doubled up in theme on one month.
But we have a bunch there for you. Make sure to check that out. But if this is the first time you guys are joining us, we have reviews in 4 different sections. We have Stream It, DVD, Blu-ray, and the Ultimate Box Collection. Colby, where are you at for this one?
I'm so Blu-ray for this. Yeah.
Pretty easy.
Right. I'm like, I just give me all the Terry Gilliam movies like in one super ultimate
$500 box.
Right. The Black Knight's like chopped off head, and like his like little mask opens up and all of the movies are inside. So I don't know. Yeah,
or like this could be really cool. Like I'll go Blu-ray for this one as well. But it'd be really cool if the Ultimate Box Collection for this was this movie and like the series. And like the old series too, just to check that out as well.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. There's a lot to this property that could be done more. I mean, honestly, I think it's a pretty interesting way of doing time travel.
Right.
And so, because it's usually, I mean, you can't blame Back to the Future for popularizing the whole thing, but even before that, we had the Time Machine. Which is
we did a time travel month.
Oh yeah, so
there's a theme that you gotta go back to see.
But I think there's a lot to this movie. It holds up really well for being a movie from 1995. Has big names in it with Brad Pitt and Bruce Willis.
Right.
Mainly.
Oh yeah, if you're a Brad Pitt fan, you gotta see this movie just to check out his
acting abilities.
Yeah,
and it kind of makes me like want more from that side of his range. Maybe now that he's a little bit older, he's like, guys, I can't do another Mr. and Mrs. Smith type Troy thing. Can we put me in a family comedy? Like Cheaper by the Dozen with Brad Pitt.
Yep.
It would be fun to see him.
Sexy grandpa.
Sexy grandpa. I mean, like if he doesn't dye his hair, sexy, a silver fox.
Right.
I mean, unfortunately, I feel like we might see him in like a professor type of thing where he's like seduced by a younger actress or something.
Right. Yes.
Which I feel like Jenna Ortega is getting a lot of backlash for that role. Did you see that?
No.
She's in a movie with Martin Freeman. From Hitchhiker's Guide.
Oh, okay.
And she's seducing a professor. I was like, that's kind of wild. Yeah. But definitely a super fun flick to watch. But we're coming up to the end of our thing. Thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to check our links down below.
All of our socials, our Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Threads.
All
Instagram, all of it. We're on all of it. Not as active as we should be on any of it, but we're trying.
We're trying. Life is hard.
Right, get on there and encourage us to
to do more.
Right.
You guys need to do more. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us. My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This. If you guys want to check out the theme music, it is Lee Rosevere. It's called Arcade Montage. It's on our album, Music Podcast 3, and our Bandcamp is down below.
Thank you.